Hello, Ultimate fans, and welcome to Boston, Massachusetts. The All-Star Tourists are on their last stop here taking on Brute Squad. I'd like to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you by our partners at 5 Ultimate and Eric Early Recognition is Critical. If you don't know, Eric is a nonprofit focused on teaching the symptoms of cancer to help recognize cancer early. It's me, Topher Davis, and today I'm with local broadcasting partner, Christy Kim.
Hi, Topher.
Hello, and Christy, as our local expert, what are we going to see from Brute Squad today?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot of energy from Brute today. We have been so excited, looking forward to this game, being the last stop of the tour. We've had the opportunity of watching all the other All-Star games and just getting more and more excited. So we have a ton of energy. We can expect to see a gritty, hard-fought game from the Brutes, a lot of pressure defense. Brute is a team that really prides itself on playing hard D. And then we can also expect to see some really aggressive looks on O.
And it looks like Brute is starting on their D-line. I can recognize a few of those players, but maybe you can let us know a little bit better who on that line we want to look out for.
Yep, so right now we've got, from the left to the right, we've got number 9, Becca Ludford, 21, Chelsea Murphy. We've got Emily Bacher, Claudia Tajima, and Megan Liu. They're going to be holding down the handling core. And then we've also got Cassie Wong and Cami Groom.
Yeah, in line, and they start in a side stack, trying to open up space for an isolated cutter there. Cami Groom goes over her head, and in 1-2 passes, the All-Stars are going to get a chance at the first break. Lynn trying to go across.
Nice D by Cami Groom.
So Groom gets it right back. And now Brute Squad, short field, getting it with their defense. First around throw started on offense.
I think that we might be playing around with upwind, downwind lines as opposed to O and D lines right now. So we're looking to attack the downwind end zone, looking to protect that upwind end zone.
Right. We had a real big upwind, downwind game yesterday in New York as the All-Stars were taking on Bent. And certainly all players know how getting that downwind score and that downwind break is usually so easy to turn around and get the next break because you have the wind at your back to help your defensive line get the disc.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we have Brute's offensive line out here looking to go upwind. We've got Shelly Cohen with the disc. She's going to pull. She's a first-year player on Brute Squad this year, played with Wild Card the last couple of years, originally from North Carolina.
And quite the pull from Cohen. 10 yards outside the end zone. And All-Stars opening a play over to Schaffner on the backhand sideline. Now in the middle to Pick Caithley. She's about half field. Looking to the reset. Can't find it. Finally gets the swing over to Alika Johnston. She's on the flick sideline. Needs a reset. Goes up line to Titcomb.
Yeah, I think one thing that we can expect to see from Brute Squad tonight is to see us really try and limit handler movement from the All-Stars. We're going to try and play really, really tight on those resets, have them look out for their third, fourth, fifth options, deny them those resets.
It's usually most productive to get the turn in the backfield, and especially to take away those resets. We'll see how they can do. And again, looks like a pretty brand new lineup for the Brute Squad out there right now.
Yeah, that's right. We still got our D squad out there. We've got a little bit of a larger D squad this year. We've got a tight O rotation. We look to try and really take care of the disc on O and get our D line out there, keep them out there for most of the game if we can. So we've got a brand new 7 out.
And that 7's going to start with about 20 yards at the brick mark, essentially. And again, on that first pass on the side stack, maybe a lot of speed on that windy downwind throw, but Rachel Westgate can't reel it in. And Carolyn Normal is going to pick it up on the sideline for the All-Stars. Similar to how that first point started, with Leathers coming across from the sideline to the center of the field. Normal gets it to Verju. Back to the sideline to Normal. They haven't gotten past more than like 5-10 yards on that sideline. Now they're moving across the field with Cousins in the middle. And Normal from that backhand sideline loses her defender and open goal. And the first break of the game, they go up 2-1.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. That first look that we've turned it on twice, I'm not sure how much the wind is playing a factor there. The wind is blowing from right to left on your screen, so I know those flicks can come in pretty hot. Not a lot of room to adjust if that throw's just off by a little bit.
Certainly not, and they both look like they're open shots to the open players. Sometimes warming up into those first couple points is a little difficult, but Brute Squad down one break early. I don't think they're going to be too worried about it.
No, not at all. We definitely take these sorts of things in stride. Teams get broken all the time, so it'll be our turn. Just got to get our defense back on the line out there.
Not a lot of change in the lineup for the All-Stars out there. Maybe some help bringing Alika Johnston over and Haley Walrus, but they're going to be fine. And with the downwind, they get a long pull. Brute Squad about at their goal line in a couple passes, facing a loose cup. Working it in the backfield. Still keeping possession, but hasn't gotten a lot of downfield space. The cup is just fine letting those swings off, and they have the wall really staying under the downfield cutters. Wanting a pass to go to the deep defender, Jacqueline Verju, back there.
Yeah, Brute's doing a nice job of staying extra patient here with this disc and this wind. Having a little bit of trouble finding opportunities through that cup, but the handlers can just take care of the disc. We'll find that shot eventually.
Well, it looks a lot of the work being done by Cook and Cohen. Now to Malinowski and Seville on the sideline.
Ooh.
Trying to go to the center, but misses the intended target right into the hands of the All-Stars. They're moving quickly on that transition. Still matchup problems for the Brute Squad defense. Verju on the sideline. Walrus open up line, finally gets a defender on her. Verju in the middle of the field to Brereton. Brereton on that goal line looking to score, and push passes, trying to get to Verju, but it looked like Sarah Cook got a little hand on it.
That's a great D by Sarah Cook, recognizing Jacqueline was looking for that strike cut.
And maybe she got her hand on a little more than the disc, as Verju still has possession. The observers here today are directing as to what should be going on. It looks like Greg Connolly is trying to indicate that the disc should be tapped in live. Oh no, they're calling a strip.
Been able to play with Brute at any tournaments this year so far, but she wanted to come back and play tonight. So I'm happy to see her apply that pressure on someone athletic as Jacqueline.
Right, and looking at Sarah Cook's information on my roster, she's has the title for the oldest player on the team, it seems.
She does, yeah. She she doesn't like it, I don't think, but we love her. We love having her. She's been playing Ultimate for a very long time. When she's not playing, she's been helping out with subbing, and just a huge sideline presence for us. So we love having her on the team.
Right, and they're going to want that experience going late into the postseason. They still have one more regular season tournament, Brute Squad, at the Pro Flight finale, and then trying to perform well at Nationals. They've been doing well the past 2 years, and they want to keep that streak up. So this pull goes out of bounds, and Paula Seville is bringing it to the brick mark in the center of the field. A little bit more of a person defense, but All-Stars are flooding the lanes with those handlers. Doesn't look as much as a cup, but they're not really tight on their person. But Seville going down line, in a tough line it was, still finds her receiver. I believe that was Becky Malinowski down the sideline. Is on the field and off the field. And
absolutely, and even on Brute Squad, we've actually got we've got an Amherst line. We've got a bunch of people that went to Amherst High School together, played in high school, and are now back playing region.
Regional rivals will have that bad blood sometimes, but once y'all get on the same team, it's quite all right. And the same team for the All-Stars, Verju sends it to the end zone, and Alika Johnston comes out of nowhere and gets the goal. Johnston, Pitt Caithley, and Scarth were there, but it looks like Alika Johnston had a rough landing on that. Slow time getting up. And she is hobbling off the field.
It looks like maybe she just got some bad turf burn. I'm not sure. She's walking, but she slid on her knees pretty hard to grab that one. It's a nice grab.
Yeah, that would be a tough break for the All-Stars. Even though this is their last game, Alika is a major spirit player for them. Everyone kind of looks to her. She was the Callahan winner this year from the University of Virginia, so a lot of players have a lot of respect for her, and I know that her Scandal teammates watching are hoping that she's going to be okay at the end of this game.
That's Alika's first goal. She had an assist earlier in the first half.
Well, the All-Stars make quick work of that downwind offensive point. And now defensive line going upwind. That catch real close to the sideline. Dejima, center of the field.
So this is like a hybrid OD line out here right now. We've got a couple D-line players. Oh. It's a nice run by Leanne Hoffman. That disc just went a little bit too far downwind and floated out of bounds. Couldn't make a play on it.
Yeah, Dory Zipperstein trying to put it, the backhand down the line. I didn't even see her receiver, Hoffman, coming, but I guess she was well on the other side of the field. Couldn't make up the ground, and Carolyn Normile is going to get a lot of yards as the throw went out of bounds and never came back. She starts out with an inside flick immediately, getting into the center of the field, and there's Stevie Miller going to Cousins. Cousins got wide open in the end zone, and she's excited to score. Megan Cousins doing very well on this tour. She was on the U23 teams in 2013 and 2015 for the women's team, and has been very productive for Colorado Collie, and now for her club team, Molly Brown. And speaking of Molly Brown and the Colorado Collies, I think it's worth mentioning that Dory Franklin, the other Colorado player that we've had on the All-Star Tour, has been out for the past couple games. She had an ACL tear a few years ago and was experiencing a little knee pain a few games ago. She's decided to take it easy, finishing out the tour with the rest of us, but they sure miss her on the field.
So it looks like we've got Brute's O-line back out there, but we've they've added Emily Bacher and Megan Liu to this line as well for some handling power. Been noticing that the All-Stars have been coming down in some junky looks, mainly with their handler defenders sagging into that lane, trying to force Brute's handlers to do a lot of work, really preventing any looks downfield from going off. So I think the addition of eBay and Mags is intended to try and help the handler movement be a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, getting that fourth handler maybe on the outside. They got to get around the cup and then have the throwers to go upfield with it. Now it looks like they're working a lot in the middle. The cup is collapsing quite well on the popping handlers, and that one breaks all the way across the middle of the field. This might be what Brute Squad needs. They can't continue to the deep look, but it forces the All-Stars to transition into their person.
Unfortunate drop there, Shelly Cohen. Let's see if Brute's defense can get this back.
Yeah, they've done all the work to get out of the zone, and just a mental mistake to give the All-Stars a free possession. Lefty backhand from Verju to get it off the sideline at Lim. Now Leathers in the middle of the field. Back to Schrader. She's trying to work that break side. Goes to Leathers on the live side. Clears up the space. Hirely's backhand to Brereton. Brereton, tough spot. Back to Schrader. All-Stars really doing well getting those resets to the dead space from the handlers, and can't quite attack the end zone though. And Slim gets in front of her defender and snatches it right in the front of the hands of Megan Liu.
It's a great bid by Mags on that one, just a little bit too far behind. Brute's defense was really working there for a little bit. The All-Stars really didn't have any viable downfield shots into the end zone. They were just working it with their handlers, and they managed to get one to the open side.
Well, Brute Squad now facing a 6-2 deficit, and after a couple breaks, they call a timeout. We're going to take a brief timeout as well, and we'll be back here in just a minute to keep talking you through the action. Welcome back, fans, to Boston, Massachusetts, the last stop of the All-Star Ultimate Tour, as the tourists are taking on Brute Squad, and the tourists are continuing their dominant ways, up 6-2. And Christy, we were talking a little bit in that break. Brute Squad just seems to be making a lot of uncharacteristic drops.
Yeah, I think, that's definitely hurting us right now. The movement looks pretty good. It's just some execution errors, a lot of uncharacteristic drops, and the All-Stars are punishing us for that. So let's see if we can clean it up a little bit. We've got a hybrid line out here right now. Got Leanne Hoffman boosting it to Cami Groom. Wow, what a grab by Cami.
Yeah, taking the deep shot immediately. Cami Groom.
With the score.
That's her second goal of the game. She's got 2/3 of the goals for Brute Squad early in this game. And the goal was one thing, but the catch on the goal line, that's what really got the crowd fired up here for the home team.
Wow, yeah, what a grab by Cammie. She had a couple defenders right around her. It's great focus to come down with that one. I like the aggressive shot. I like the deep look right off the bat from Brute. We've got to stay aggressive. We can't get tentative. We can't get nervous. So I really like that.
Now, Christy, I hear you using a lot of the we pronoun. So I guess we might not know what is your ultimate playing experience?
Sorry, I'm talking about Brute and the we. I am a part of the Brute squad. Unfortunately, hurt my knee at the U.S. Open back over July 4th weekend, so I won't be playing with the team the rest of this season. But yeah, sorry, I've been on the team for so long. It's an automatic. It's just
that's totally fine.
Just an automatic we, but
that's what we want from you. That's why we're getting a different commentator at every stop. And how many years have you been with the team?
This is my 9th season on the team, so I've been with Brute for quite some time. I've seen some ups and I've seen some downs.
Well, I hope they pull it out so that you can sleep a little easier tonight. But the All-Stars going downwind, and now in the rain, it just started picking up here on the field. We'll see how that's going to affect the players' throws and catches. It might be something to Brute Squad's advantage, as it'll kind of slow down the attack of the All-Stars. But Pitcaithley on the sideline working with Walrus.
Really coming down out there.
Right, we had the warnings of a thunderstorm and lightning, and there we go. A turn, I don't think it's credited to the rain, but it's going to give Brute Squad a chance to start chipping away at this lead, down 3-6, and an opportunity for a break. Going across to the center of the field, and maybe that's the water, as Vicky Negas tries to catch it, and the disc just rolls back, giving Erin Schrader 10 yards to go. And Schaffner makes a move on the front cone, maybe a pick in the backfield, possibly a foul called on Schaffner from Synchrope. And again, another confusion on the call and the goal. This goal is being awarded to the All-Stars. Schrader with the assist, Schaffner with the goal, and I imagine it was a pick called in the stack, but it didn't affect the front two players who were involved in the play. So that's going to give the All-Stars a 7-3 lead, and quite the gap here in the first half.
Yeah, that was the All-Stars' first offensive turn, but they managed to get the disc right back off of a Brute error, come away with that goal.
One turn from the offense. That is a clean sheet.
All right, so now we've got a Brute O-line out there, looking to get this point and get our defense back out there on the field.
Pull from Chena Titcomb. Long pull in this weather. Seville has it 10 yards outside our goal line, goes to the sideline. Again, we're seeing a loose cup from the handlers, but Brute gets some yards, and going for Malinowski, can't find her on the sideline. That just flies downfield in the All-Stars. Chena Titcomb picking it up with a chance to break and take it into half.
Let's see if Brute's defense can really, really lock down here and generate a block. These All-Stars are looking to attack the break side, so our marks have got to be active.
Well, they get it to the dead side there, Norma on the sideline. Titcomb has a free pass to the open side, hasn't been taking it, now gets it to Leathers. Around Normal, they switch the fields well. But
really great pressure downfield by Brute. All-Stars were just limited to swinging it back and forth. Oh, and a block by Leanne Hoffman. What great heads-up D by her. Great layout block. Paula Seville boosts it to Leanne for the goal.
Bookends play for Leanne Hoffman. Doing a great job on that defensive side. It looked like she was coming off her defender in the center of the field to get the block. And a lot of pressure to keep the All-Stars moving the disc back and forth, and eventually turned into a short field turn for Brute.
That throw from Paula to Leanne is another former teammate connection. They both played together on Nemesis a couple years ago before coming over to Boston and play on Brute. So I know Paula loves throwing to Leanne. She's a great target, wide open in the end zone for that one.
Well, the All-Stars had their first turnover on offense on the last point. Brute squad is going to need to force a little bit more than that. They're down 4-7 right now, and I'm sure would love to get another opportunity to get a defensive line on the field before we go into half. If All-Stars can score, we'll go into half 8-4, of course.
All right, we've got a man D line. Well, sorry, not a man D, a person D line out here. Becca Ludford getting down there on that pole.
And a deep shot immediately. Schaffner gets past her defender. Schrader launches it. Schaffner straddling the line, not in. In the corner in a tough spot. Looking backfield, now looking down the side. And Verju toes it in, makes the grab, and stays in bounds. Quick strike from the All-Star offensive line as they get down the field in one pass and into the end zone in another. It's Verju's second goal of the game, and the All-Stars scoring 2 goals for every one for Brute here in the first half, up 8-4. As that goal takes us into halftime, we're going to take a 10-minute break here on the field. You viewers at home can go ahead and refill your refreshments and get some snacks, and we'll catch you here on the stream in 10 minutes. welcome back, fans, to the second half of All-Stars taking on Boston Brute. I'm Topher Davis here in the booth with Christy Kim. And Christy, we were talking about some of the players that Brute Squad is missing today.
Yeah, we're missing a couple players tonight. One of them is Flannery McArdle. She's a product of Carleton Syzygy, and she is a huge offensive force for us. Very tall, very aggressive player, both O and D. So her absence is definitely felt tonight. She's on the sideline, but not able to play with us tonight. And then we're also missing Leela Tennell. She's out in Amherst, couldn't make the drive out for a midweek game, unfortunately. She's another force on offense. She's an O-line handler for us. Really spreads the field with her throws, and also is known to get a layout block here and there as well.
Well, let me interrupt you just for a second as the All-Stars are moving quickly on this offensive point. First point of the half, and Walrus trying to go inside to Schaffner. Picaithley had a second chance at it in the end zone, but does not come down with it. So already coming in the second half, Brute Squad has forced another turn out of the All-Star offense, and they're trying to start this half with a break in the right direction. Emily Bacher with the disc in the center of the field. Bacher and Sinicrope playing back and forth in the handler spot. Floats over the head, and Schaffner pulls it down, wants to attack immediately, going for Picaithley. Looks like everyone had read that that throw was coming up, as Emily Bacher was in good position to watch that go to the back of the end zone. Picaithley might not have been able to catch up to it, but the defensive pressure really secures that. So Bacher again with the disc in the center of the field at her goal line. Can't find the reset. Now gets up line and misses the target.
That's great handler defense by the All-Stars there. We really had no reset option. Looked like the stall count was getting a little high, and eBay was forced to throw that one.
There's Titcomb on the sideline, 10 yards out, and she gets it to Erin Schrader. Observers are calling her not in. Schrader on the goal line, goes around backhand, and Schaffner had slowed up her cut, and it was an easy run through D for Cassie Wong. So now Sinicrope on the corner. Brute Squad has had a lot of chances in this point, but hasn't been able to get past their half of the field. Now moving quickly on the sideline, but can't get reeled in. Another drop. Victoria Negus can't find the disc. Titcomb, a couple yards outside her goal line, resets to Leka Johnston. Inside to Schaffner, and Schaffner almost makes a play on it, but that one bobbles again. All-Star offense not finding the same rhythm they had in the first half. Only one turn from the offense in the whole first half, 3 for them in this point. And Negus trying to go up line. A foul is called on the field. Chelsea Murphy saying that Titcomb had hit her hand coming through for the D. Titcomb, uncontested foul. It's going to stay on the sideline. Murphy gets it up line, and there they take a deep shot, trying to run it out, but can't find Sophie Herskew, excuse me.
It's a nice look by eBay to Soph. I really like that attack and that cut. Brute's got to stay aggressive.
I absolutely agree. It gives them a good position, but All-Stars gain the yardage right back. Walrus trusting her Oregon teammate as Schaffner, and Schaffner going for the just dishy back to Lisa Picaithley. Doinks out of her hands. Now both teams are trading unforced turns. on the sideline. Titcomb is able to get that one. No problem. And on the swing again, we see a drop. The wind is kind of died down, but the rain is picked up, and that wet disc not doing well for the players. And Gina Titcomb calls a timeout, probably a very smart timeout after both teams just trading a lot of turns, and this is the first point of the second half.
Yeah, it's been a long one. The rain is really, it's coming down steadily. It's not pouring. It's not a super hard rain, but it's a soaking rain, and I think that that's really affecting players' abilities to throw and catch. Let's see how these teams can adjust their games in this wind and rain. I think something that Brute is trying to do is trying to use the whole width of the field, especially when it's windy and it's rainy. It's really easy to get stuck on one sideline. You want to throw the shorter passes because they feel more comfortable, and you want to just sort of get it out of your hands quickly. But I think if we can keep our spacing and trust each other, we move the disc the width of the field, we'll find a lot more opportunities to hit cutters downfield as well.
Absolutely, and there's a little bit of the risk moving across the side of the field because, you know, both teams they're dropping the disc, they're having throwaways, and if you're going across the field, you're not really giving yourself any yardage advantage. They had the good look going downfield once, but hasn't really got a nice upfield movement since then. So coming out of the timeout, 12 turns, 6 apiece from both sides before that timeout. And just this point, All-Stars looking to clean it up in this possession as Caithley has it in the center of the field. Going around to Schrader with defensive pressure, and that one knocked away.
Nice D by Amber Sinacrope. Such great heads-up D there.
And they're attacking immediately.
Oh.
Elika Johnson lays out, but it's still reeled in.
Oh, they're calling it a goal for Brute Squad.
Yeah, great focus from Shira Klein down there. There was definitely a hand on the disc from Johnston, but Klein stays with it, hits the ground, and gets a much-needed break, and I feel like that could be a huge momentum shift for Brute Squad right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That is exactly what we want to see from the Brute D line. It's a great grab by Shira, so close to the sideline there. And I think, you know, Brute's D is fired up. They want to stay out there. They want to get some more breaks. So let's see what they'll come down with the All-Stars going upwind now. It'll be interesting to see whether they come out in a hard man or person defense, or if they come in some sort of junk look, try and make them throw a bunch of passes.
Well, at this point, I would like to remind the viewers at home of our partners who have made this broadcast possible. 5 Ultimate and Eric. Early recognition is critical. And Eric does middle school clinics that uses Ultimate to promote the 3 pillars of Eric: be active, be aware, and be prepared. Please contact Eric on their website or through Facebook if you'd like a clinic at your school. Now going back to the action, All-Stars in their second offensive point of the half, and we see a junky look from Brute trying to play under the cutters. All-Stars just working that forehand sideline with Verju now with it. They've transitioned to person, and Walrus catches it inbounds. Looked like the defense had a good play on it, but Walrus keeps the focus. Observer curls are in, and there's Elika Johnson in the center of the field trying to get the All-Stars back into their scoring ways. Moving it around to Schaffner. Schaffner continues to the break side to Kate Scarth. And Kate Scarth just runs it out to the sideline. What a goal from the All-Stars, but what an impressive play by Haley Walrus on the front cone. It happened so fast in the booth for us to really get an understanding of what happened. Hopefully we can get a good look on it in the replay. I'm surprised that it was called in. That was a call by the observer, so not too contested by anyone. I think it was clear that Walrus had the catch. Just the placement of her feet at the time.
Yeah, it looked like Brutes Junk D. They were just a step behind on that one. The All-Stars moved it really quickly down that sideline. Brutes O-line out here now, looking to take care of the disc going upwind.
First time Brute O-line is on the field in the second half. They haven't got much of an advantage. They got a break back, but still down 4 points, 5-9. Tick come with the pull going downwind. It's going to hit. Be fielded now center to Seville. Hopping with the disc on the sideline. Back to Seville. Again, we're seeing the handlers not really getting a lot of upfield space. Hoffman and Seville doing a lot of the work. Kiso on the sideline. Gets it back to Seville. There's an inside break, but a pick call downfield. Looks like the disc is going to stay in the center of the field. And seems like good, tight downfield defense from the All-Stars. Still working the center spot. Out to Cohen. They're gaining the yards that they need. A lot of safe passes. Seville looking for the front of the end zone, and Hoffman lays out and secures the goal. Brute Squad offense taking their time with it, but they never give up the disc, and Hoffman is able to punch in another goal, bringing this 6-9.
That's Leanne's second goal and Paula's third assist of the game. That's some really nice, patient offensive movement. We didn't really take many risky shots there, but I think that's a point that we really needed to work the disc. We needed to be sure. We needed to create separation from the defenders and just work it in. It's a good point.
And that they did, especially going with this upwind. I think we had talked about a lot of the big part of the first half. Brute Squad is in the right spacing and making the right movement, but just doing unforced errors all the way around the field. That time really bringing the focus back into their O-line and working at the full length of the field.
All right, here we go again with Brute's D-line pulling downwind. The All-Stars having to work for another upwind point here. Let's see if Brute's D can generate a turn.
Pull all the way down to the goal line, but in a couple passes, All-Stars are already at half field. Pick Caithley with the disc to Walrus. And Walrus trying to go to Verju, but throws it behind her.
Oh, run through D by Cami Groom. That's what she's known for. She's so speedy. She's got great closing speed.
Yeah, and Cami Groom was doing a lot of work for the goals in the first half. Let's see if they're going to look for her into the end zone as play stops from a pick call downfield. Tap back in, and they do look for Groom, striking immediately, and a tough read. The outside in flick going to the wrong shoulder for Groom. And she gets the D, but can't finish out the point. Now Walrus on the sideline. In the center to Scarth. Upfield to Caithley. Caithley gets it around to Schaffner. Schaffner to Scarth. Good movement from the cutters there as Verju has it and continues up. And maybe a partial block from Groom. It looks like that disc didn't come out the way that Jacqueline Verju would have liked it to. And Brute Squad 70 yards to go now to start eating away at these breaks. Herskew in the center of the field. Back to Sinnekrope now on the sideline.
Oh, poach block by Schaffner.
And trying to find Scarth, and Scarth lays out in the end zone. Great speed and great hands from the University of Victoria player. And again, the All-Stars offense not as smooth as they were in the first half. A lot of great pressure from the Brute Squad defense. But Scarth in the end zone.
Something that I notice when I'm watching the All-Stars play over the course of this tour is that they do such a good job of creating throwing opportunities by just faking and pivoting and moving the mark. They attack that break side so aggressively, and they get those looks, those good looks downfield. But they create those opportunities by pump faking and moving the mark and being really comfortable and confident with the disc.
Yeah, I've been saying since the beginning, I think the biggest strength of the All-Star team is that all these girls are very skilled throwers and very comfortable with the disc. Attacking the dead side with the throwers makes the jobs as a cutter much easier, and especially those continues. Once you've broken one to the break side, you can basically keep going to that direction with free throws. Brute Squad's offense back on the field. They've been holding every time so far in this half. Seville in the center of the field, looking at a very poachy look from the All-Star D-line. But they're getting shots to the center, now on the sideline with Malinowski. Moving across the field, Malinowski unmarked. All-Stars still in this junk look. You'd think they transition after they get a big pass through, but they stay with it, slowing down the upfield movement from Brute Squad. Seville on the sideline, in a tough spot, goes all the way across the field. Good job switching the attacking space, and they go immediately. A player gets behind Verju, but Verju, great read in the back of the end zone, knocks that one away as she does a great job. As that deep defender, you kind of want to make those shots look open. Wanted the team to take the risk, and she eats it up.
Yeah, that's a great D by Jacqueline. That disc just hung a little bit too much in the air upwind. The receiver looked wide open in the end zone, but Jacqueline just made up a lot of ground.
Well, Verju now gets it in the middle from Lim on the goal line. Upfield to two open players. Brereton comes down with it. Now Alika Johnston trying to get that around space. Can't. In a tough spot for a reset. And trying to go to Cousins. Didn't have a lot of options, and a wonderful pressure D. Shelly Cohen gets the block and gives the Brute Squad offense another chance at this. Malinowski comes all the way from the cutter position to the backfield. And on the continue to Cohen, a pick is called by Cousins. She's catching up, but doesn't look like she's getting the disc to go back. So that's going to be a pick that doesn't affect the throw, just the positioning of the defender. And Malinowski on the sideline. All-Stars in a little bit more of a person defense.
Oh, great grab by Sarah Cook to save that pass.
And a good job feeding it through the defense to the backfield. Looks like Malinowski has the disc on the ground. She's still hanging out down there. There's a little confusion as to what's going on. I imagine a pick was called downfield. And good on Malinowski to stay with it and catch it, because if it was a pick and she had dropped it, even if it wasn't affected in her play and you can see it's going back, the drop would have resulted in a turn. So Cook still with possession. And on the centering pass, can't get it. All-Stars trying to transition quickly. Verju goes across the field to Brereton. Brereton continues upfield to Verju, and Verju jumps before he catches it, lands in the end zone. And a big break for the All-Stars to go up 11-6 here in the second half.
You know, one thing that I was curious to see coming into this game was whether or not fatigue was going to play any part in the All-Stars game tonight. This is their 4th game in a row. They've had a grueling trip from the West Coast, but to play 4 games in a row going from DC to Boston can't be easy for them, sitting in cars and then having to play.
Right, and 4 games in a row with a small roster.
Absolutely. So I wasn't sure if it would be noticeable as a spectator watching them play, and it hasn't at all. They are in phenomenal shape, and they are all-stars for a reason. They're playing great ultimate tonight.
Right, and I do agree that the 4 games in 4 days is very difficult, but when you think about a normal tournament, you're doing 4 games in 1 day. So all that extra time, you know, it can make a world of difference even with a small roster. And fortunately on this East Coast, in our little 4-game streak, our travel times have been rather short, and it's the long travel times that can really get at them. But we've only had a couple hours, maximum 4 or 5 hours in a car. A lot of time to recover and get comfortable. But Brute Squad on the offense in that same set we saw in the first half. Cami Groom gets it under, and Brute is well on their way past half field. Now look like they're having a tough time. But a little back and forth from Bacher and Sinicrope. Sinicrope now on the sideline. Centers to Tajima. Another reset. Great downfield pressure by the All-Stars, pushing Brute Squad back. And almost a layout D from Chena Titcomb. It's going to be some discussion. Her and Cassandra Wong both made a play at the disc.
It looked like Cassie had that disc, but it's going back.
Yep, goes back to the throw on a contested call. So Sinicrope now hasn't gotten a lot of space since their first big initial play, but they've been keeping the possession, taking those resets. Seems to be fine for them, and the hammer going across to Groom, and Groom in the end zone once again. Cami Groom doing real well for Brute Squad today.
It's her 3rd goal of the game. It's a nice hammer look from eBay right out to space in that end zone. Really easy for Cami to run onto.
And quite the hammer throw, too. You don't see a lot of those shots, but Emily Bacher confident in her throws, and it's great to see it kind of be used more, I think. It really opens up the dead side attacking space when you can't get a backhand out there.
Yeah, I agree. It was a really, really a good look, and because there was so much space out there, and Cammie was coming from the other side of the field,
Right.
you just got to put it out there, and for your receiver to run onto. And Cammie's so fast that she got there just in time.
You might notice that we're being a little bit better today on the broadcast with our numbers for the stats, giving you a little bit more accurate picture of what's going on the field. And that is a big thanks to Nina Horowitz up here with us in the booth. Nina's been keeping track of the live stats for us, and we're really hoping that you're enjoying it at home and able to follow along a little bit better.
So eBay with that pull, seeing if we can get another break here.
Yeah, and they're trying to stop the deep throws with a junk. This one, a little bit more of a big cup, less of that trying to poach under the wall. And now Walrus in the middle of the field continues and attacks the middle of the field. They're moving quickly. Looks like transition, and Schrader goes to the middle pick. Kathley goes up, and Verju goes down to get it. Everyone's jumping around to get plays here. And Verju lefty backhand over to Walrus. Highlight after a highlight after a highlight, and the All-Stars are in the end zone. That's 2 assists for Verju to add to her 3 goals. The youngest player here on the tour, but certainly ready to go out into the world of the college ultimate game and show what she can do. She will be coming to Dartmouth from Seattle. And I'm sure some Dartmouth players and fans are in the crowd right now, excited to see that kind of play from the young star.
Yeah, that's right. And also the youngest player on our team, Angela Zhu, also attends Dartmouth. She's a rising junior. So Angela and Jacqueline will be playing together at Dartmouth, and I would not want to be facing that team.
Has Angela Zhu done any of the U19 teams, maybe shared the field with Verju already?
Yeah, that's correct. They did. Last summer, I believe, they played together. It's going to be really fun to see them play and see what they can do in the college scene.
Well, Brute Squad offense receiving, going at the slight downwind. It's certainly slowed up a bit, but it helps out the offense nonetheless. Seville with it, center to Cook. It's a big shot upfield now. And a shot to the end zone. Malinowski can't get a read on it. Great defense from Hannah Leathers to make her go up early. And Sheena Titcomb 10 yards outside, but misses the flick. Very lucky for Brute Squad. They're going to have 6 yards to go, and Cook trying to pick it up and attack quickly before anyone sets up. Now in a tough spot, inside break, and hits off Carolyn Normile in the right place at the right time. Cook can't quite feed it in where she wanted it to be. And the All-Stars get it right back after gifting Brute Squad with a short field possession. Schrader gets the first pass up to Sturt. And Sturt trying to go inside. Great run through D by Courtney Kiso. Again, short field for Brute Squad's offense. Needing to punch in this goal. Seville with it, but a pick called downfield. Going to stop play.
Looks like we're holding on the disc a little bit too long. I'd like to see Brute maybe move the disc a little bit more and quicker. Get some real movement going.
All right, the All-Stars have been making it tough with their downfield defense, not letting a lot of continues go. Boston's having to and the resets just to keep possession. Seville taps it back in, starts the action, but again another call, perhaps a violation. And action's been stalled for a little bit. Disc coming in at stall 6. Seville taps it in, takes the reset to the middle, gets the fresh count. And Zipperstein to the end zone, finds Sydney Dobkin. And Brute Squad, it takes a couple chances, but they do get the goal. So Brute Squad down 8-12 at this point.
Let's see if Brute can string together a run here, get this game a little bit closer.
Yeah, they've cleaned up the second half. We've been trading points. Both teams have had a break in the second half. So, you know, good adjustments from Brute Squad to perform better than they were in the first half, but they needed to make the adjustments to start getting up to cut the lead, not just keep it at being down 4. So, Christy, you were mentioning earlier today that Leela Tunnell is missing from the field.
Yeah, that's right. So Leela went to UNC, played with the UNC Pleiades, and she actually won a Callahan there in 2011.
And you had told me that Brute Squad actually has 3 Callahan winners on the roster.
That is right.
Now, I'm curious for anyone who's listening to us right now, could you name those 3? We already gave you one. Go ahead and check the Brute Squad roster. Or if you already know who the players are, why don't you tweet at us at All-Star Alti or at me at Real Topher Davis or even at Christy.
Oh, that's a nice pressure. Blocked by Chelsea Murphy. Coming into the lane there, poaching a little bit.
Yeah, and Brute Squad now making the moves to cut that lead. And a good read by Cami Groom. She gets it. Amber Sinecrope had got it, tried to quick flip it into the end zone. Verju hit the disc, but Cami Groom continues her scoring ways. 4 goals today in this game, and I don't think none were as important as that one right then.
Oh, that was such a great grab by Cami. But Rachel's leading pass to Amber set up that goal. I don't think it's the type of goal that Amber would have liked to throw. I think she was just trying to move the disc really quickly and get that goal before the defense could set.
Absolutely. That's the type of thing where you're throwing it and the defender is coming from behind the thrower, so you have no idea that they're back there. You just get that split second seeing your player. You want to get it out because you're just an inch from the goal line. Works out for Brute Squad, and they get a break after we were talking about their good play here in the second half.
That's such a great grab considering that it is still raining tonight. It's still kind of a soaking, steady rain. It's kind of hard to tell from watching, but that disc is very hard to catch in general, let alone catch a bobbled second attempt. So Brute's D-line still out there looking to get another one. Bring this game a little bit closer.
Well, here their D-line goes, trying to continue to cut at this lead. Almost gets lucky as Schaffner has to lay out just to keep possession on the first pass. Finds Pitcaithley coming under. Leading pass up to Schaffner, bobbles it but stays with it. And she strikes deep, trying to go across the field to Scarth, but good defensive read and easily brought down out of the air by Becca Ludford. Ludford on the far side, poaches off and gets that disc, and now attacking quickly, going to Cami Groom, of course, and Groom finds it no problem. Brute Squad looking for their second break in as many points. And down the sideline, the crowd here erupting to see Brute Squad break again and bring this 10-12.
Brute Squad has outscored the All-Stars 6-4 this half so far.
Yeah, they had that 4-point deficit going into half, and the All-Stars are going to call a timeout. And I'd like to give a little shout-out to my former broadcasting partner, Kyle Weisbrod, who says too easy on the Callahan question. He got Courtney Kiso and Paul Seville right away. Also, whoever's in charge of Bama Sex, I appreciate all the input you guys do. And again, you guys got it right and adding a little bit more information than Kyle does, telling us that Paula gets it from Michigan and Courtney from Wisconsin. So thank you for playing, you guys. Oh, and I wish I could pronounce the name of our last participant, but all three of you.
Nice job. It seemed like it was a little bit too easy for them. Could make it a little bit harder. If you know, we have three brutes who've also finished in the top 5 Callahan Award. Let's see if anybody knows who those 3 people are. It's the top 5.
3 in the top 5. I mean, you would have got me as the 3 Callahan winners, but I know that Kyle Weisbrod pays a lot of attention to the women's game and coach at UW, so
we will be very impressed if anybody can get all 3. Major props. All right, Brutes D-line still out there. Loving it.
Yeah, D-line feeling it, and the crowd starting to feel it. That catch from Cami Groom just a few points ago on the almost D, I think that really put a lot of life into the crowd and into these players as they now feel like they can crawl back into this game. Walrus and the All-Stars working downwind. Scarth back to Walrus on the flick sideline, looking to go around, nothing there. Looking to go upfield, but opens up the around throw. Verju laying out to keep possession alive. Now to pick Keithley. Brute defense really doing a good job stuffing these upfield lanes. Verju across the field to Scarth. Scarth to Schaffner. They're getting throws to that open side lane, and Schaffner trying to go for the hammer to the dead side. But Verju and Keithley, neither of them cutting into the right space. And Brute Squad's D-line, chance for a 3rd break and 3 points. Claudia Tajima walking the disc up to the goal line. Gets the first pass center, bobbles, and Schaffner able to get a hand on it. Earns back her turn. Now Verju 20 yards outside, inside break to Keithley. Keithley looking the end zone. Cutters can't get open. They reset. Now transitioning into a little bit more of their red zone set.
Oh, that's great. Handler D by Amber. Almost forced a turnover there.
Yeah, having to go backfield to Johnston. She keeps Sinacrope on her back and is able to keep possession. Schaffner on the sideline, bends a IO, and Aaron Schrader can't gather it in the end zone. Tajima now 7 yards to go to get another break. Sinacrope looking downfield, nothing there. Tajima able to get it. Schrader trying to get that upline cut defense. Brute Squad unable to get a lot of forward momentum going, though. Moving the disc side to side. Stuck on that sideline, back to Tajima. She gets some around space and some downfield space, but nothing continuing after that. Back to Tajima. She's going to do a lot in this handler role, it seems, and she calls a timeout. Good timeout call from Brute Squad to slow down this game.
That's a great call by Claudia. It seemed like we needed a little bit of a break to catch our breath and just regroup. The handlers and the cutters were looking like they were on different pages, and this is a big break for Brute.
So on their timeout, we're going to take a quick pause on the mic and be sure to catch the exciting finale here in Boston. So we are live back here in the game as Claudia Tajima picking up the disc after the timeout. Brute Squad's defense with possession, a long defensive possession for them, and they want to knock in this break. They've had 2 breaks leading up to this point, trying to continue and cut down this lead. Bobbling disc and can't get reeled in bounds. That would have been a wonderful play from Cassie Wong. And an injury substitution. I'm not quite sure what the head tap is, but it looks like an injury, and Schaffner's on the ground, inching away from the field. Both teams are going to get a sub as Hannah Leathers comes in for Jessie Schaffner. Unsure what would have happened to her down there on the field. The disc gets tapped back in, and Walrus moving quickly goes all the way across the field, but can't find anyone trying to switch the field. So both teams, again, trading a lot of turnovers. And maybe in favor for Brute Squad. Claudia Tajima turned her back from the disc as it was thrown. Got her head around in time to make the catch, and a deep shot. Walrus trying to get it. Everyone down there gets past both Brute Squad receivers, and the All-Stars again. Offensive possession, moving downwind. Schrader with the disc. Gets the around to Leathers, into the center of the field. Layout grab by Alika Johnson. Great grab. Moving up line, trying to get something going. Picathley gets yards and a foul call. Alika gets it, calls the foul, and Synecrope gets back up to immediately start play again. Leathers has it 5 yards outside the goal line. And Lisa Picathley ends the point finally on an upline cut. She's able to get a one-handed snag in front of her defender, and a long point would have been real big for Brute Squad to get that break, but even bigger for the All-Stars to stop the leading and get that lead to 13-10.
It's a great effort by Brute's D-line. You know, as a D-line, you got to be aggressive, and sometimes you got to take some shots. And that one throw from Amber DeVicki was a nice look. It just hung in the air a little bit too long, and Brute wasn't able to get the turn back. So the weather actually, well, it's still a little bit windy. It seems the wind seems to be dying down a tad in bits, but the rain has stopped. So at least that's a good thing.
Well, Christy Yuda really challenged our Twitter followers out there, but it seems like most of them are up to the challenge. A lot of people were able to get like 2 out of 3. Leon and Tajima able to get it, but it looks like the only person to get all 3 again, Kyle Weisbrod. You should maybe consider getting back in the booth.
Damn.
You got all 3, eBay, Claudia, and Leanne.
Great job. Major props to Kyle. It's impressive.
So now Brute Squad offense needing to get their defense back on the line, going downfield and opening up a deep shot. Able to run it out is Laura Bitterman. And great offensive point from Brute Squad there to just score quickly, not give the D-line a lot of chance to drag that point out. And they cut the lead back to 2, 11-13.
That's a nice throw from Leanne to Bitterman. Bitterman's been a little bit quiet tonight. That's her first goal of the night, but she is a major target for our offensive line. She scores a lot of goals for us. So the score now is 13 All-Stars, 11 Brute Squad. Brute's D-line out there again, looking to get a much-needed break this critical point of the game.
Well, in the second half, the D-line has really been getting the possessions that they weren't getting in the first half, having a tough time slowing down the All-Star offense. But now it seems like they've figured out the speed of the game, and they're moving very quickly. They're taking a lot of risks, but I think that's kind of what they want to do in moving quickly, take those risks, and just really put the pressure on and a run through D.
Cassie Wong.
Short field, everyone's moving quickly. Just gets picked up by Angela Zhu. Needs a reset. Gets it off. Brute Squad in their red zone, set just outside the goal line. Sinacrope with it. Can't continue to Wong. And a lefty past the mark, and that's a big break for Brute Squad. She finds Emily Bacher in the end zone and cuts the lead to 1 late in this game. 13-12.
That's a sick D by Cassie. It's one of my favorite Ds to get as a defensive player, is just busting your ass down the field off the pole and getting that first pass block. It's a great feeling. Great job by Cassie, and nice job Amber and eBay taking care of the disc to get that goal for us.
Well, I'd like to give a little special shout out to a former U23 teammate of mine, Mike Ogren. He had tried to catch you in a little trap, mentioning Chena Titcomb as one of the top 5 Callahan nominees. Chena Titcomb now plays for Riot, but was a Boston Brute Squad player for many years while she was going to school here in Tufts. Just one? Excuse me, for 1 year. Well,
just 1 year, just last year.
The 1 year that I saw.
To have her for longer. Yeah, we missed Chena a ton. She was such a great presence for Brute last year. She was a D-line handler. I got to play with her a lot. She's a great teammate, a great person, and just really wise beyond her years. So mature and great composure with the Frisbee. We miss her.
Well, here are the All-Stars in a tough position in their final game. Going upwind, only 1 point lead, and another block.
Cami Groom again with the block on Jacqueline Verju.
Yeah, Verju trying to go under, but Groom, a lot of speed. She's been doing it mostly on her offensive side, but we see that defensive pressure, and Brute Squad really feeling it now late in the game. All-Stars maybe not used to this pressure, and Cami Groom continues with the bookend. She gets the block, and she gets the goal. Brute Squad has tied this game at 13, and we have an exciting finish for our last game. here in Boston. The crowd really into it. Brute Squad was down 8-4 at half. They've gotten their 4 breaks that they needed to tie this game. And All-Stars in a rare position that they haven't been in since the start of this tour. Close game late in the game.
I'd like to give a big shout out to the crowd here we are technically in Malden, but I'll say Boston. A big shout out to the fans who came out. It wasn't a great night for Frisbee in terms of the fan-friendly weather, but we've got a large crowd, a really boisterous crowd out here, and sat through the rain. It's great to have so many spectators out to watch.
Well, I'm sure the ones who are watching the stream at home who are thinking about coming out today are really kicking themselves in the pants as this has turned out to be quite the game and quite the action.
All right, Tajima with the pull here for Brute.
All-Stars in a horizontal offense. Gets to Scarth in the center of the field immediately. Now Pitt Caithley. Schaffner streaking deep. Back in from the injury she had a couple points ago. Walrus in the center of the field. You can feel the intensity from the Brute Squad defense out there. So get it to Schrader on the sideline. Schrader can't get her first look downfield. Now needing to reset, she just sends it to the end zone. Scarth is there. She has 2 defenders. Scarth can't make the play. And she wants to call the foul, doesn't call the foul on Sophia Herskew in the end zone. So Tajima on the goal line, 70 yards to go to give Brute Squad their first lead of the game, perhaps. And floating that one deep. Verju makes the play. Schaffner was there to make the play. Just can't get up over Verju, though. All-Star offense not willing to give up an easy break. Walrus gets an inside shot to the center of the field to Caithley. Verju now with it, and a travel called. Verju was ready to do the throw and go. Her receiver turned her back, and they still have possession. Verju in the middle of the field, lefty backhand up to Titcomb. She doesn't have a continue. Gets the flick, center of the field to Caithley. Continues to the sideline. Schaffner now with it. Schaffner a couple yards out, trying to get a hold. Bends one around and doesn't find Scarth. Herskew, another D in the end zone in this point. Now she's got it on the cone, but a pick called. Schrader marking up against Megan Liu.
Brute's defense at this point has really been forcing the All-Stars to take some shots that I don't think that they want to take.
But Lisa Caithley earns a disc on the goal line. You work hard for 1 point, and she moves in front of Claudia Tajima, makes a move to the cone, and Caithley really took over in those last couple seconds to get the All-Stars to stop the bleeding. They go up 14-13, and it's going to be up to the D-line to really put this game away.
Great D by Lisa Caithley. We had the Brute D-line, had a couple of chances to work the disc downfield, and we just got a little stuck in that coffin corner with 70 yards to go. Not a lot of space to throw to.
Yeah,
couldn't get it off the sideline.
I think that's an interesting position as a defender with Herskew bringing up the disc. She caught the D and brought it to the goal line. But in a lot of these cases, the disc has been hitting the ground, and Tajima has been the one bringing it to get that first pass. Sometimes if you get a player who's not used to bringing the disc to the front of the goal line, I don't know their roster. Maybe you can tell me that Herskew is a handler and is very comfortable back there. But
yeah, she actually is. She's cutting for Brute Squad this year, but she's done both. And I believe when she played on Molly Brown a couple years ago, she handled for them. So she is comfortable taking it to the line, which is why I think she did there. But it seemed like there weren't enough options to throw to get that disc off the line.
Now Brute Squad offense needing to score or face an elimination in this game. All-Stars have their cup. Seville swings it all the way around to Melanowski. Now Zipperstein with it. Cook gets open in front of the cup. Again, they don't have a next pass. And the All-Stars are able to kind of stay in their cup. Now moving quickly just outside their goal line. Seville with it. Back in the middle, Cook continuing to the break side.
Movement. Nice movement by Brute Squad, getting the disc off that sideline and swinging it all the way across the field. That opens up so many options.
Zipperstein on the backhand side. They can move across the face to the live side as Cook has it. A pick called. The front of the stack, Leon Hoffman coming from the stack, and Sturt gets caught on a defender. Big possession here for Brute Squad, 6 yards outside their goal line. Trying to tie this game up at 14s, and an inside break. That one's fine. Laura Bitterman, and what a throw. Calm inside break from Zipperstein ties this game at 14s.
I think that was actually Sarah Cook with the IO flick there, number 20. Yeah, Sarah Cook has got one of the fastest releases, I think, of anybody that I know. Great shot to Bitterman for the goal. That's Bitterman's second of the half of the game.
And tied at 14s. It looks like that's going to send us into overtime and a double game point situation to 15. Observers kind of signaling to the teams on the field that each of them have one timeout in this overtime situation if they choose to use it. This is going to be a hard game to 15, similar to what we saw in the opening matchup against Seattle Riot that went to double game point. Very similar to this situation also, as the All-Stars were receiving.
All right, so Brute's D-line out here. We've got a almost pure D-line with the exception of Leanne Hoffman coming in this point for us. She played with the defense last year. She's playing with the O this year. She can basically do it all, and I know she's a great person to have.
Brute has big defensive playmakers out there with Wong and Groom, who have been making plays for them all day. But the All-Stars with the possession right now, Pitt Caithley on the sideline.
Great handler defense by Brute, forcing Lisa to put that up. Oh.
Gets the throw all the way around to Walrus, but it is a tough throw. They're not going to want to do that every time. Pitt Caithley going to the center of the field. What a catch by Erin Schrader. It looked like it was going to be a run through D, but she gets a hand on it. That could be huge for the All-Stars, but going backfield misses Alika Johnston. Now Brute Squad looks like they're going to slow it down, not attack immediately.
It looked like they wanted to fast break.
And they do attack immediately. Groom is back there. Verju gets the D. Groom has been scoring a lot of goals, but Verju is going to have none of it to end this game. Big plays here, and the double game point. Schrader walking it to the goal line. 70 yards to go to end this game. Quick movement from Schaffner to Verju. Pitt Caithley's open in the center of the field, but a pick is called.
This is what Brute sort of prides itself on. We love our man D. We play super tight. We're seeing that right here, forcing the All-Stars to do something else.
And a lefty up the line. We've seen that from Verju quite a bit. It opens up just enough as Schaffner now has it in the center of the field. She resets to Verju. Verju playing a lot in the backfield and trying to go upfield to Scarth. Scarth just gets a bad read on it. And it's going to give Brute Squad.
Brute's going to set up in a spread here, leaving the middle of the field open for some cuts.
And again, they take a shot deep. Groom is there. Schaffner is there. Verju again gets up above the crowd. She is defending that deep space.
Great D by Jacqueline again.
And again, All-Stars, another possession. Brute Squad has been taking those shots when they get it. All-Stars trying to play a little bit more calm and collective, but they've had further to go. That one in the center of the field to Pakaithley. Now to Verju on the sideline. And a missed throw. Only 15 yards for Brute Squad to take this one. So far, they've been attacking the end zone with almost all their possessions.
Oh.
And that one.
Oh, it looked like that just came off of Angela's hand. I didn't think she was intending to let go of it at that moment.
Both teams maybe now feeling the exhaustion of a long double-point game. But Pakaithley has it up line. Johnston can't run it down. Again, the unforced errors continue. A lot of pressure from both defenses. They're putting the throws in a tough spot. 7 turns so far in this last point of the tour, as the All-Stars want to finish on a high note, and Brute Squad wants to show that they can come back and really wrap up this game. Hoffman now with the disc. Gains a lot of yards. Back to Hoffman, and on the dishy to Hoffman. She drops it, maybe not expecting it. Looked like she was going to clear all the way through from the handler spot. Alika Johnson now with it. Up to Pakaithley on the sideline. Pakaithley trying to get it around. Bends a backhand to Johnson. She doesn't get a lot of yards off that backhand, and trying to go up the flick. Another missed throw. Schrader laying out but can't get it. Brute Squad going to have a long way to go, and both teams, looks like you can see the exhaustion in their legs, but they both have fire, and the timeout is called from Emily Bacher. 9 turns so far in this point.
Yeah, I think fatigue is playing a big part here. There have been a lot of layouts for what should be pretty easy throws, so throwers are tired, not quite putting the disc exactly where they want it to, and the cutters or receivers are having to lay out to try and make those saves.
Yeah, at this point, I guess it's whichever team can cut that down, although the All-Stars have been getting this disc back, and by the All-Stars, I really just mean Jacqueline Verju has been getting the disc back with a lot of great defense in the end zone.
Yeah, I think it's making Brute sort of second guess our deep shots now. That happened twice. Hopefully we can still find some nice deep cuts, but I think we might be holstering those throws. We'll see.
Well, as the players line up on the field, it looks like they're going to do a side stack. Bacher has the disc on the sideline. They're isolating Leanne Hoffman out there in the center of the field. Verju looking to help on that deep space. She's on Groom, and that one over Hoffman's head after the timeout doesn't work for Brute Squad. Walrus maybe looking for the hammer. Has nothing. Tight defense. Inside shot. Schaffner. Pakaithley. Pakaithley catch. No! No, it doesn't count. Pakaithley caught it. Bobbled it. Is begging to the observer to let it count. She had the catch, but then bobbles it to the ground, and when she finally regains possession, she was straddling that back of the end zone line. I can't believe it.
Oh, my goodness.
So Brute Squad gave the disc back on a short field. The All-Stars almost make an exciting play to end this, but Brute Squad still has possession, trying to complete this comeback here in the second half. A contested stall. Walrus jumping around, not happy, as they got a late throw to Hoffman.
Wow, what a last point of this tour. Oh, man. Brute Squad's got 75 yards to go.
Cinecope back upfield. No deep shot there as Groom gets it on the sideline. Goes across the length of the field, but Caithley reads it no problem. There were a lot of people in that area. Now Verju with it. Back to Schrader. Schrader hammers it, going for Caithley. Caithley skying her defender.
Oh, my God. What a
and
grab.
That one is going to end the game. A marathon point.
Wow.
Here for the last point of the game of the
What a way to end the
All-Star
game.
Tour.
What a great grab by Lisa. Oh, man.
I gotta
Everyone is freaking out.
The crowd stunned at the way that this game ends. The booth very excited up here. And what an ending.
Oh, is it not?
Not an ending?
Is it not the end?
I'm sorry if I've been misinforming you. They're going back to the line. That wasn't the last point of the game.
We have been
We
feeding
got
you
more
wrong
ultimate for you,
information. We are
folks.
so sorry. We are stunned. It's not the end of the game, but what a point. Brute's O-line out there looking to take care of business and get the Brute D-line back out there, but wow. Emotions are running very high right now.
I was ready to be done with the broadcast. All words have left me, and now we have another point to do. Brute Squad on offense. Let's see if they can make it cleaner than the All-Stars had it. Lou on the sideline. Bitterman got left wide open. Back to the middle to Seville, trying to get it off that sideline. Right back with Cohen. A quick dish, and Seville finds Megan Lou, and that ties it up at 15s. The crowd is pumped to be back in this game, and the All-Stars might have to do it all over again.
It's a great possession for Brute there, taking care of the disc, hitting the open person, nice and easy.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of good movement. I'm specifically pointing out Laura Bitterman in that point of getting open under and then just quickly dishing it back to Seville, who was coming up line. Getting it into the hands of a confident thrower, but Bitterman doing a lot of the legwork.
Yeah, that's Bitterman's jam. She's open for days, but then quickly gets rid of it for dishes, opening up a lot of opportunities for cutters downfield.
Well, now at 15-15, I don't want to give you folks any information saying that this is game point. I think it might be. As we are tied at 14s, I assume we would go up 2 to get up to 16. But we will see how this one goes. All-Stars had a long offensive point. Brute Squad trying to get that 1-point advantage late in this game.
All right, so it looks like we've got a little bit of a different line here. We've keeping Amber, Cinecope, and eBay, Cassie Wong, and Cammie out there, but we've got Courtney Verhollen, Koog, Claudia Tajima, and Sophia Herskew out there as well.
Trying to get some of those legs back here. The advantage of having a large roster over these All-Stars late in this game might come into play. We were talking about the energy and how tired they were earlier. And we didn't see it because of the traveling, but it looks like we're seeing it after 30 points in this game. Picaithley in the center of the field. All defenders seem to drop off for it. The cutter's going deep, and Scarth had a wide open under. Now back to Picaithley, who's really taking over in the second half, and a lefty shot from Verju to Schaffner. It's going to give them a 1 point advantage, quite possibly a game point advantage, and Brute Squad doesn't look like they're walking back to the line. It looks like they're walking to give their congratulations to the All-Stars, and a big congratulations to the All-Stars as they wrap up this tour with a big Universe point wins. No, they're going to the line.
We've been fooled again. This game, we just don't want the tour to end. We just love it so much.
The tour to end.
We want more. This is too fun and too exciting. We want more Women's Ultimate.
Man, the way the second half has been going, we could potentially be here all night. Brute Squad's offense back on the line.
So, yeah, we have a Bruto line out here. Leanne Hoffman's back on, Bitterman, Shelly Cohen, Paula Seville, Dory Zipperstein, Becky Malinowski, Courtney Kiesau.
Well, Seville in the center of the field. They start out with a side stack to try to isolate Hoffman, but a poachy set from the All-Stars breaks them out of that rather quickly. Now having to work that backfield space, Seville with the disc. Cohen on the sideline, whips it around to Bitterman. Zipperstein and Bitterman doing some give and goes down the sideline. A transition to person now. Seville has it. Going across the field. Hoffman continuing to the break side. Finds Shelly Cohen. And this game's tied at 16-16, and I have no idea what's going to happen at the end of this point.
We're not going to say that this is the last point because we might be wrong.
Crowd is fired up out there, as they should be. Brute Squad down 4 points going into half and has tied it up and really brought the energy here, testing these All-Stars on their last stop at the tour. Brute Squad trying to make a statement that they are here and they mean business.
The crowd is chanting, is it one more game or one more D? One more game.
Might as well extend the tour. Anyone, any women's club team that want to make an offer that we can't refuse, go ahead and send it to us. Looks like we're going to get some information about what this game is going to. So the word from the observers on the field say that this is the real Universe point, not those fake 2 Universe points we just had.
So Bacher, Tajima, Wong, Sinakarop stay out there, and Groom as well. We've added Alana Schwamm and Becca Ludford to this Universe point line.
Not a lot of change in the All-Star offensive line. Titcomb has it in the center of the field. Brute Squad looks like they're just going to play person and try to run with this team.
Oh, Becca Ludford got a foot on that one, but Lisa managed to pull it down.
So Leathers gets the reset pass from Verju, trying to go backfield.
Nice D again from Sinakarop.
And reaching on the backhand, but that one's going to go back. Sheena Titcomb trying to stretch the whole length of the field to her right teammate, Jacqueline Verju.
We've got Tajima and Sheena Titcomb, 2 former Tufts teammates, guarding each other right now.
Now Alika Johnson gets the reset to Leathers in the middle of the field, continuing to switch fields at Picaithley. Leathers is up line. Picaithley was too busy looking the backfield. Leathers comes back and gets it. Now Titcomb in the center of the field. Goes around to Keithley, switching that attacking lane. All-Stars can't get anything going upfield. Pick called as everyone is tight in that stack. They're really having to go to those resets, and a lot of resets coming from the front of the stack. Keithley with the disc on the sideline. Now to Leathers, gets the inside flick. Leathers going around, but can't bend it. Too much edge, a flat disc flies past Jesse Schaffner. The All-Star D-line is going to have to make some magic happen as Brute Squad bringing the disc to the cone. 7 yards to go to end this game. Switches the field. Groom has it on the sideline. And Groom tries to get the throw, but it's out of bounds. Hannah Leathers D's it outside the playing field, but wants to make sure that no Brute Squad players have a chance at that. Cami Groom, who has been so deadly downfield, makes a little mistake trying to be the thrower in the situation. And now Alika Johnson is bringing it to the sideline. All-Stars with their second possession in this universe point. Tight D on the resets. And
great pressure D.
Yeah, a lot of pressure from Batron Pick Keithley.
Tajima also had tight positioning on China. There weren't a lot of options for resets there.
Tajima now with the disc. She's striking deep. There's Groom. And Groom makes the catch even with the contact. And Groom flips the disc to Becca Ludford. And that's going to end the game. Kate Scarth almost makes a tour-saving D. But Cami Groom, who had been deadly in the air all game, finishes it with a catch outside the end zone and the flip for the score.
Wow, what an exciting way to end the game. That was a really great defensive bid by the All-Stars, but just an inch too short to come up with the block.
What a game here in Boston.
This was exactly what Brute was expecting. We were expecting a battle, and we got one. The All-Stars are the real deal, and they definitely pushed us. What an exciting finish.
Yeah, the All-Stars, who have had a wonderful tour, ends it tonight here in Boston, and what a game to end it on. A close game with a tough team on the lineup. Boston Brute Squad will be continuing a tournament in 2 weekends, the 21st and 22nd in Minnesota at the Pro Flight finale. And we expect to see a strong showing from them at the finale and at Nationals. The All-Stars had a wonderful experience on the tour. And I gotta say, what a night to wrap it up. Our broadcast tonight and what it was is brought to you with a lot of help from our camera operators, Mario Bundy, Tyler Cable, and Angela Toki, our instant replay operator, Suni Haley, our director, Vin Bowie, and the executive producer, Kevin Menderhout. And while we're on the topic of the crew here for the Eric broadcast, I should let you know that Eric is hiring a creative videographer / editor. If you have any camera experience and want to work full-time in Ultimate, please contact us at kevin@nextgenultimate.com. That's an email to kevin@nextgenultimate.com. I'm Topher Davis here in the booth with Christy Kim. Christy, you were great tonight. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was such a fun experience and a fun way to be a part of the game while not being able to be on the field with the team. But speaking on behalf of Brute Squad, we feel so lucky to have been a part of this tour and to have been able to play against this wonderful group of athletes and role models. So thank you to everybody for that.
And we were lucky that you guys gave us quite the show. The fans out there are going to watch this one and love the replays. I know I'm excited to get back and see how it all plays out. But tonight we're going to end the tour. And Vin, why don't you go ahead and take us out?